Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day wherever you are around the world. And welcome back to not Liverpool news episode. We're not doing a Liverpool. Well, we are kind of doing a new show for you guys tonight, of course. But we are more importantly going to be talking about what is next for Liverpool now this summer. Of course, we've officially signed Alexis McAllister and Dominik Szoboszlai as well, of course, and I want to know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. I want to know your guys' thoughts on who could potentially be next for the Reds. Of course, obviously there is massive names going out at the minute. Of course, Romeo Lavia is one that is mainly getting pushed out on the media. Of course, obviously Kefran Turam as well is also there, being mentioned to potentially sign for the Reds as well. So again, we're going to be speaking about what is next now for Liverpool in this transfer window as well. But again, guys, let me know how all of you are in the comments as well. If you're new around here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well, and yeah, don't forget to share out the stream as well, guys. Hopefully get as many Reds in you as possible as well. This was meant to be done last night. Again, apologies, chat. Again, having to cancel shows because again, stupid stuff, as per usual anyway. But hopefully everyone is well. Hopefully everyone has got the notification. If not, then I will have to end the stream because it's at the minute it says we haven't got anyone in yet as well. So of course, if anyone is in here, let us know in the chat down below anyway. But of course, after Liverpool have signed both Dominik Szoboszlai and, of course, Alexis McAllister, it is the question now of what is next now for Liverpool, of course. But I think the big thing, and obviously, I know we're going to be talking mainly about, of course, about those two in particular as of right now. But I think what the most important part is just to take it in. I would say at the moment. Like personally, I think that when you do look at the signing of Dominik Szoboszlai, for me, it is very much a statement signing for Liverpool, especially the way we went around it. Of course, with us, look, it wasn't. Of course, it was a release clause, but in terms of Liverpool going for it, we tend not to do these types of things, but when we do, it looks like Liverpool have got the correct player that they want, and I think everyone around Europe has the same opinion of it is an absolute fantastic signing from Liverpool as well. So again, like I think obviously he's a luxury signing. Of course, it's going to be very, very good to see what is not only him, of course, what Alexis McAllister can do in that midfield rebuild as well. But again, guys, I want to know your guys' thoughts as well. Like I said, we're going to be talking about what is next for Liverpool in this transfer window as well. Anyway, but Zayn is in saying Szoboszlai has the smiling I don't care attitude in a positive way as well. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Because as well, mate. To be fair, Barry's in as well, saying I think they will be. They think there will be another signing at the weekend as well. Would be interesting. I know that obviously I know a couple of people, and of course we'll talk all about the information as well about Romeo Lavia as well, because at the moment he is the guy that seems to be now what Liverpool are pushing towards. Of course, he does have that, or Manchester City have that buyback clause, but it doesn't come into effect until next season. But again, it does linger around the player. Of course, Southampton are not going to be, looking for anything less than £40 million, which I think is a problem. Personally, I know there's a couple of people going, "Oh, Liverpool should be." I think they've even asked for £50 million. Of course, there's been a couple of people like, "Yep, Liverpool should pay 50 million for him." I'm a bit on the, on the downside on that personally. I think that maximum, I think he's worth £35 million. If Liverpool are going to be paying 50 million for him, I'd be surprised. But again, obviously, Liverpool have blown us out of the water so far in this transfer window. I wouldn't mind another, blow my mind out transfer anyway, of course. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. And of course, if anyone does want to join now as well, then do let us know, and I will leave you the link as well anyway. But of course, obviously, we're going to just quickly go through all the information we do have anyway on Romeo Lavia at the present moment in time. Of course, now this was yesterday or the day before. Liverpool, obviously, Fabrizio Romano saying that Liverpool are in the race for Romeo Lavia since Monday, and no changes despite signing, of course, Szoboszlai and McAllister incomings. Liverpool remain keen on signing Lavia on the list with Kefran Turam. Arsenal still very interested, but it depends on Thomas' exit. Of course, Thomas Partey's exit from Liverpool, from Arsenal, sorry. And the Times today, of course, oh no, sorry, this is Fabrizio Romano's add up on that, saying Liverpool always plan to sign 3 midfielders this summer. They are working on Romeo Lavia as well. And this is from the Times as well, saying that Arsenal are ready to make a move for Southampton midfielder Romeo Lavia once the signing of Declan Rice from West Ham is complete as well. So, of course, that is from Arsenal side of things, and of course it did go on to also say that Arsenal expect strong competition from Liverpool for Romeo Lavia as well. So again, obviously Liverpool, pushing very hard to get the deal done and to get this over the line for Romeo Lavia as well. But Santi also came out, I think about an hour ago, said that Chelsea have submitted a contract proposal to Romeo Lavia. Liverpool have met his entourage on several occasions in recent weeks. Southampton have not yet received an official offer for the player. So again, Liverpool are pushing very hard at the moment for Romeo Lavia as well. Of course, like I said to you guys, in my personal opinion, I don't think Lavia is worth £50 million. That's what Southampton want. That's what's the talking point at the minute in terms of who's going to be next and what the price tag is. Of course, £50 million for me, I don't think he's worth that personally. But I know plenty of people will go, oh well, for a young kid, 19 years of age, full season in the Premier League last year, has the qualities there in terms of, again, he was Southampton's best midfielder, probably apart from James Ward-Prowse in that regard. But again, obviously, still shine quite brightly in that Southampton midfield as well. Which, of course, when them playing a 4-4-2, kind of went against what he's good at in that aspect of things. But I still think that personally, when you look at Lavia, again, I haven't watched him week in, week out. I think the only times I've seen him this season is when we've played Southampton this year. I think I've watched him maybe once or twice apart from that. I think Arsenal away, I think, was a big game for him. I watched him in that, was impressed with him in that game. And of course, I think in terms of just in general, having a general thought process around him, of course, listening and talking to a few Southampton supporters, what they said last season is when he's playing against a top team, or when he's it's a game televised, Romeo Lavia is he is the shining light in their team. And then when it's a maybe a 12:30 or 3 o'clock, where again there's no TV on there, again he's not that shining light at times, which of course at 19 I think you can a little bit rub that out, but of course you hope that isn't the full picture with him potentially. But again, obviously with Jurgen Klopp and this Liverpool team, I think obviously he will get worked on massively. But again, I don't think out of the three, if that was to be the case, obviously I think McAllister and Dominik Szoboszlai, they walk into Liverpool's team. I think Romeo Lavia, I think it needs a bit of work in that regard. But again, you have him by Setage there as well. That age gap will be around there as well. So again, there will obviously be trajectories and of course, healthy competition in that regard. Because I think again, Liverpool's best teams are where you do have competition in every area. I think when we've had competition, in either centre mid, DM, centre back, right back, even goalkeeper. I think this is why I think Alisson performs at such a good level, because you have such a good number two in Kelleher there as well. And I think that's the thing that makes a team better. but yeah, obviously, I want to know your guys' thoughts as well, because again, we're gonna be talking about the squad as a whole. I want to know your guys' thoughts on who you guys would like to be next as well. Because of course, I'm talking about midfielders. Of course, centre halves as well. Obviously, we got news on centre half, or one centre half anyway, that Liverpool have been linked to, as well. But I want to know your guys' thoughts in the comments as well. I will do a poll in the chat as well when we do talk about a certain topic as well, because I really want to know your guys' thoughts on a certain Liverpool player. You guys probably know who I'm talking about in that regard. But again, I want to know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below anyway. But I will quickly get into the comments then, guys, as well. But yeah, let me know who you guys want for Liverpool to sign next this summer as well anyway. But what do you think Liverpool playing a game? What do you think Liverpool playing a game and trying to distract other clubs from buying Thuram and Kone like Chelsea and Newcastle? Could do. Again, it's possible. It absolutely is possible that Liverpool might be playing mind games in that regard. But I think when you've got, I think Fabrizio Romano this summer has been pretty on it in terms of Liverpool news. I think when he's coming out and saying I'll quickly get it back up if I can. When he says in the top part, but there, of course, Liverpool are in the race for Romeo Lavia. I think that's the thing. Obviously, I think at the moment, I think everyone is under the same brush in terms of nobody wants to pay £50 million for Romeo Lavia. But again, I'm also saying that if the rumours are true in terms of not Newcastle, sorry, in terms of Chelsea, Arsenal, and Liverpool being interested in him, there's surely going to be some sort of bidding war, especially Arsenal. But in also saying that Arsenal have just spent 165 million, oh no, 170 million on Declan Rice and Kai Havertz. So again, that depends on that situation, and also depends on whether or not, again, like Fabrizio Romano said, if Thomas Partey leaves. Because I think they'll need the funds for Thomas Partey to leave before, obviously, Romeo Lavia can join Arsenal anyway. In terms of that, of course, for us, it'll be obviously an addition to what we need as well. And obviously, for me, my personal opinion, I would much rather Thuram for Liverpool, but I can see why Liverpool also want Lavia as well, of course. So again, I'm in the opinion of, if Jurgen Klopp thinks that Romeo Lavia is it, and is happy with that, then give him what he wants. That's what I'm under my thought process anyway, of course. But I'd also like it if Liverpool just went, yeah, I'd done another Dominik Szoboszlai and go and find somebody and sign him in a day. That would be the best thing anyway. But again, keep your comments coming in, guys, as well. I want to know everyone's thoughts on who's going to be next as well. I want to interact with you guys as well as much as possible as well. And obviously, we'll take a look at Liverpool's potential team for next season as well. Anyway, let me quickly scroll back up to the chat. But yeah, it could be a distraction, Colin. Absolutely. Twinson saying, "Thank you from Ukraine. Thank you for your support. Who do you think? Who do you think about Mark Gaihi? Decentish player. Again, obviously, bigger for being in the chat as well, mate. Thank you for popping in. Good player. I think that it's just a bit overpriced. I think again, £50 million. I think it's the rumored price, isn't it, chat? At the moment, I think Liverpool are definitely going to be, I think, staying away from that for now. Obviously, homegrown quota is there, and obviously could easily potentially be an option for Liverpool if there was leg room on the transfer fee. But yeah, absolutely, I don't think he's going to be Liverpool's main priority, or around Liverpool's priorities this summer anyway. But doing the rounds on Twitter is that FSG will bring an investment after United gets sold. Bit of a weird one, that. Yeah, I think, is it 15% for 400 million? I think they're selling for, or 10%. It's between 10 and 15%, I think it is, and it's between £400 and £600 million, which again sound like, obviously, this is the thing. Liverpool have been waiting, and the owners and the FSG have been waiting for Manchester United to get sold to see what they could ask for. Because I feel FSG FSG have the belief or have the understanding that Liverpool are on the same par as Manchester United, or near enough the same par as Manchester United. So I think, if, for example, I think if United got sold for, I think 8 billion, for example, I think Liverpool would want 7 billion, or just below 8 billion, um, for Liverpool. I think anyway, but again, when you talk about shares, when you talk about percentage of Liverpool getting sold, I think of course they'll want to see what United get sold for first before they make their assumption. Because I think when you work it out, I think if they were to sell, I think the 10% for 600 million, it would work Liverpool out to be, like, again, I think 6 billion in that regards. Anyway, so again, when you work it out like that, of course, that's what Liverpool think we're worth. I think 4Bs have got us down as 4.5 billion. I think that we're at the moment we're valued at, again, but obviously with the main stand, I don't know if that takes up the price in 2023. Don't know if that counts for this year, but we'll just have to wait and see. To be fair as well, but yeah, no, it is going around at the minute. The investment is coming to Liverpool, which is a good sign as well. But Alejandro's then saying Thuram is a must watch. Too many YouTube videos on him as well. Yeah, we've spoken about him too many times as well. Absolutely. Obviously, Richard's in as well, saying, what do you think about Steven Gerrard managing in Saudi Arabia? Sound like, again, like, if Steven Gerrard can take Liverpool's dead wood and buy it for about £200 million, go ahead. Like like that's the wonderful thing. I'd absolutely love it if Steven Gerrard just bought Nat Phillips for about 100 million. That would be brilliant if that was to be the case. But who knows? Maybe there might be a Liverpool player going to Saudi Arabia this summer anyway. Of course, we'll talk about that in due course as well. But hi Con as well says Bry, good seeing you, Bry. Richard says, what other areas do Liverpool need to strengthen in Liverpool's starting and squad depth? For me, if you're asking my honest opinion, I think obviously one more midfielder. I think if we're being greedy, two midfielders, maybe, Lavia and Thuram potentially. But for me, what I think Liverpool need, left-sided centre, they need definitely a left-sided centre half, and a right back, and I mean a proper right back. Not an inverted centre back, or not like a Joe Gomez, for example, who is a centre back that plays right back. I mean like an out and out right back. I think Liverpool need to back up Trent in that area of the pitch anyway. But yeah, midfielder. You could possibly say right winger as well if we were being super greedy in that regard. But again, that's just of course me being super greedy. But I hope Liverpool signing more players. Yep, we are. Again, Liverpool are definitely in the race to sign more players. Absolutely. Darmish Seth said Arsenal are out of the race for Lavia. Yeah, I seen this. I don't know how credible he is. I did check. Maybe Anfield Talk might have said something before we went live. Again, I personally don't think he's credible enough. I think the problem is Sky Sports. Again, obviously on Liverpool, I say on Liverpool side. Again, Melissa Reddy doesn't really report on Liverpool news anymore, but the majority of Sky Sports journalism, I would not believe personally. Like, look at what was it, 24 hours before we signed Dominik Szoboszlai. Again, there was the rumours of, Liverpool, we don't have any money. Liverpool won't do much business because we're working under financial restrictions. And then 24 hours later, boom, we've just gone and paid the release clause to Dominik Szoboszlai, and here we go. But no, again, for me, Sky Sports used to be phenomenal, and they used to be very credible. Used to believe everything Sky Sports would say. Now Sky Sports are so behind in terms of just transfers in itself. They are very much behind. I don't even think that they have a transfer show anymore. Because again, they don't have the reliable people there anymore to report on the news in that regard. Again, obviously, it might be a bit early in the window, and they might do it a bit further on. But I don't think they do sports news, or they don't do transfer news that often now, unless of course it is confirmed and or like a Declan Rice, like a bid has officially gone in and this, that, and the other. If it's like just talk and speculation, I don't think they do it anymore. I could be wrong though, as well. But again, it's for me, Sky Sports are now bad. Um, that's my rant done. Scouse is in as well. Hello, Scouse. Hopefully you're doing well, mate. Saying evening. Let's get Lavia in. I really want him now as well. Says El Scouse as well. Because the Scouts haven't seen you in a while. Neither. Hopefully you're doing well, mate. Apparently Liverpool are going to launch a bid for Kone this week, according to France outlet. But worried. Yeah, no. Again, I saw that. It's not credible. I know I was a Dave O'Cop tweeted out saying, "Oh, Liverpool are going to bid for Kone." No, Kone's knee isn't as bad as first thought, but yeah, Liverpool won't be signing Kone this summer. I don't think, anyway. But again, I could be wrong. Adventures in as well saying, "Good evening. I like a centre back and a right back, another midfielder as well for Venture. Could be good for Liverpool. Could potentially see what we're going to be doing in that regard anyway. What else do we have? Looks like Lavia then as well. Yeah, no, Lavia is I think the number one. Unfortunately, well, fortunately, but unfortunately at the same time, because again, I would have very much liked Kefran Turam at Liverpool. You know how we've spoken about him on the channel. I think having a player profile like his, I think would massively benefit Liverpool for the future. I think he's obviously something that's different than what Liverpool have at the moment as well. But it's also like, in terms of um, what currently Liverpool do have. Like again, I very much can't wait to watch Dominik Szoboszlai in pre-season. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what he can do for Liverpool again, because I didn't realize he's 6'2", or 6'1". I think 6'1", 6'2". Chat, you guys will know more than me. But yeah, like again, he's going to be absolutely phenomenal in that regard as well. But Richard says Liverpool need or a second choice right back, centre mid, box to box midfielder, and right forward, experience, world class, age 21 to 25 years old as well. I pretty much agree with all of that as well. For me, though, I think Liverpool. Again, we'll quickly talk. Again, I wanted to quickly talk about centre backs as well before we talk about midfielders as well. I'm going to quickly make a poll, and I want to know your guys' thoughts as well on who Liverpool should sign next in midfield. Should it be Romeo Lavia, or should it be Kefran Turam? I want to know your guys' thoughts, because again, I think obviously everyone's like, oh, Liverpool. I think everyone had the idea of, oh, Liverpool might sign two, or potentially could bring in two if a certain player was going to leave. But I think Neil Jones, I think today on Redmen, came out and said that yeah, it's not going to happen. Liverpool won't sign both Kefran Turam and Romeo Lavia, which was a little bit of a dent, certainly in my heart anyway. But for me, I think look, it's very much the sense of again, I am a bit not concerned the fact that Liverpool couldn't do it, but the fact that again, I think Liverpool should do both of it. Like again, I know people go, "Oh, Liverpool want to show true ambition. We should go and get the both of them." I think Liverpool have shown ambition to begin with, to get them both, but to get um, McAllister and of course Szoboszlai. But I think now it's obviously just getting the whole squad together now in terms of centre back, one more midfielder, maybe a right back as well potentially, as well. Could be in the cards for the Reds anyway. But I want to quickly make a poll for you guys anyway. It's stupid that you can do it on computer, but you can't do it on the phone. It's quicker on the phone as well, but no, that's I'm doing a Q&A now, not a friggin' poll. Right, but I want to quickly, yeah, I'm going to quickly make a poll for you guys anyway. And of course, it's going to be, of course, I've spelled that wrong, which doesn't help when I spell things wrong, chat, because of course that will get straight away brought up to you guys anyway. But who should Liverpool? Next. Right, so we've got, of course, Romeo Lavia in there, and we've got Kefram Turam. So I want to know your guys' thoughts. In midfield alone, who should Liverpool sign next? So, of course, it's going to be a choice between Romeo Lavia and, of course, Kefram Turam as well. There we go. Is that up? There we go. So, yeah, so I want to know your guys' thoughts. Romeo Lavia or Kefram Turam in Liverpool's midfield next anyway. So, again, let me know your guys' obviously vote in the poll down below as well. Anyway, but let's quickly read a few more of your comments. Of course, guys, let me know your guys' thoughts as well on the whole squad. Of course, let me know just generally. Of course, we're going to talk probably a bit more about both of these. Of course, so far, of course, Liverpool signing both, of course, Dominik Szoboszlai and Alexis McAllister. Again, I want to know your guys' thoughts are definitely on Dominik Szoboszlai signing. Of course, that did get announced yesterday. But again, I want to know your thoughts in the comment section down below as well. And we'll obviously take a look at Liverpool's team going on in the future as well. But let me quickly get the comments back up. Where we buy? There we go. Get that off. Obviously, read that one out. Colin says, "Is there any other CDMs that suit us? What do you think?" I think we missed out on Tchouaméni badly. Yeah, no, I think Tchouaméni is definitely one that Liverpool missed out on. I think Florentino Luis, I think from Benfica, is another one I think Liverpool could look at. Obviously, if the rumours are true about him being available, I think for 25 million pounds or 30 million pounds, I think, at the present moment in time. That could work in Liverpool's favour, but of course he does have a release clause, I think, of around 120, 130 million euros. So again, if Benfica didn't want to sell, the release clause is there. Of course, if you do want to go and pay 120 million euros, then whoever does, fair enough, go and pay it. But Florentino Luis, I would have still said that Manuel Ugarte would have been perfect for Liverpool. Again, technically very good, athletic. I think when we talk about Liverpool need another Mascherano in our team, he would have been perfect for that role. But yeah, it's Tchouaméni was the one for Liverpool. I think if he was to go and bid, I think if you bid 120 million pounds right now for Tchouaméni, I think they would, sell Real Madrid, but Liverpool aren't going to go and bid 120 million on Tchouaméni. Absolutely not, unfortunately. But Liverpool needs second right back in this summer. Yeah, or again, in terms of inverted midfielder, somebody that can play right back, dash DM. Lavia potentially might do that for Liverpool. Who knows? What do you think about Thiago? What do you think Thiago should stay? Question mark. Again, we're going to talk about Thiago because that was the player I was referring to earlier on. To be fair, we're going to have a conversation about Thiago because I think he's probably the only midfielder. I know people go on about Jordan Henderson and Liverpool should sell him. And look, I think if Jordan Henderson is he's not a starter now in this team, absolutely not. But do I think he'll leave? No, I don't. If Sunderland come up, potentially, he might have left the club. But I think at the moment it is the sense of, again, Liverpool are very much could they sell Thiago for a good price? Could Steven Gerrard come in for Thiago again? I want to know your guys' thoughts in the comments anyway, because I know plenty of people will be like, oh, Liverpool should do this, should do that. But yeah, I think it's an interesting one anyway. But we'll talk about Thiago in a brief moment anyway. I don't know why Lavia as Thuram is less money. Thuram is less money. I think though again it's two different profiles. I think between the two, I think Lavia is more of a six than Thuram, but Thuram could be molded into a six. In that regard, it depends how Klopp wants to have his DM. I think if he wanted technical, is pitbull, a correct word to use for Lavia? I think that, of course, that would be Lavia. But yeah, I think Thuram and Lavia, they are completely different to what you want. I think obviously Thuram technically very good, 6'4", athletic. Again, if you want a Fabinho, I think type DM, again, I think Thuram is more Fabinho. I think if you're going completely not opposite to what we already got, but what we could potentially thrive under. I think maybe Lavia might be that guy, but again, I think obviously it's 50-50 on what Liverpool could do anyway. But again, I wish Liverpool signed the pair of them as well anyway. But what else do we have? Quickly scroll back. Thanks for the memory, Stevie, as well. Yeah, the thing is with Stevie though, I've seen plenty of people going, "Oh, he's ruined his legacy. He's done this. He's done that." Again, he might. I'm gonna say he's gonna learn something. Is he gonna learn something in Saudi Arabia? Who knows? But again, he's gonna get an absolute wad of cash. That's what he's gonna do. So it's one of those, isn't it? And again, if it benefits Liverpool, then happy days. Wait, what? But no, yeah, again, I think if a Premier League club comes calling, or I think if any top job comes of top potential of what could happen, again, I think Stevie G will join anyway. But again, look, he's going to get a lot of cash either way. But if Liverpool need two more midfielders potentially. I take Walker on a free. Well, Kyle Walker. Is he on a free? I thought he had 1 year left on his deal, personally. But yeah, I wouldn't, to be fair. Con anyway. But Thuram off to Newcastle. Then I don't think he is personally. Obviously, we'll get talking about Thuram now in a moment anyway. And the latest news on him. But Liverpool backline doesn't pass the street test. The more you look at, the weaker it looks. Matip and Gomez are both done long term. I would agree, Bri. Again, I think it is very much. Yeah. Again, I agree. I'm just trying to think. Of course, there is a rumor out today that Joel Matip's going to be getting a new contract. I think Fabrizio Romano said that Liverpool have discussed the new contract for Joel Matip. Now, I wouldn't be against it because I think the mindset Liverpool have is that they could get, if they don't get the centre backs they want this summer, or the centre half that they think they'll get, I think Liverpool might just sign him down to another like a 2-year deal now. So again, you'll have this season and then next season will be his final year. But I think Liverpool will sell him next year. I think they might say, okay, we'll sign you to a new contract now. Obviously, less terms, should be less terms anyway. But we'll sign you to less terms. We'll keep you for the season and then we'll sell you that next season, like a guaranteed sale, and do what Brighton did with Alexis McAllister. Alexis McAllister would have been a free this window or this summer, for example. They give him a new contract, but then give him the £35 million release clause. Now Liverpool might just say, okay, we'll give you a new contract, but we'll let you go for 10, 20 million potentially in the future. So again, it sways different ways. Again, do I think Joel Matip should be getting a new contract? No, I don't. I think Liverpool should be selling and looking for a new centre half this summer. But should Liverpool keep him around? That's another question in itself, isn't it, chat? But so Thiago is leaving. Latest room as well. Yeah. So we're gonna quickly, obviously, I'll quickly check on the poll now. Anyway, Jesus Christ. Obviously, I think 11 people. Was it 10 or 11? 10 people voting. At the minute, as 11 people voting, sorry, and 82% is Kefran Turan on who Liverpool should sign next out of the midfielders anyway. But again, I want to know your guys' thoughts. Keep your comments coming in and so on as well anyway. But we're going to quickly move on a little bit and talk, obviously, just as of right now. Of course, we're going to jump back in and talk about, in terms of incomings, but in terms of outgoings for Liverpool, I want to quickly discuss and know your guys' thoughts on Thiago Alcantara. Now, I think obviously it's a big talking point to what, of course, Liverpool might be doing, or what Liverpool should be doing. Of course, the news that has come out, of course, obviously I've got the wrong slide up. Brilliant, thank God. Of course, David Lynch came out this morning and said interest growing in Thiago Alcantara as he enters the final 12 months of his contract. Liverpool would be happy for him to see that out, but his minutes are likely to be squeezed by the obviously ongoing midfield overhaul. And David Lynch also said in that article piece as well that interest in Thiago Alcantara is growing as he enters the final year of his contract at Liverpool. Now, I think it is a debate on should Liverpool sell Thiago Alcantara. Now, for me personally, look, I love Thiago Alcantara. I absolutely do adore him. I think he's, when we signed him, he was probably, apart from Kevin De Bruyne, was the best midfielder in the world. But I think and again, it isn't his fault for this, but I think he's taken Liverpool's midfield away from what it should be. And of course, it isn't just him in that regard. But again, he's a phenomenal player, and when he's in that midfield, again, he's probably the best midfielder on the pitch, and he is Liverpool's best midfielder when he's fit, and that's the problem as well. When he's fit, he hasn't played, that well. When you work it out, I think he's made, is it like 70 appearances in 3 years, which of course for a midfielder, and your starting midfielder, isn't very good in that regard as well. But again, it's the question of who could get Thiago in that aspect of things. I think, if you look around, again, Saudi could be an option for it. Again, could there be a, Barcelona? If we said to Barcelona, there's 10 million, you get Thiago. If on that, again, for me, I think Liverpool should be looking at selling Thiago. Like, I think there was a question earlier on of if you could sell Thiago and then bring in both Thuram and Lavia, would you do it? And I would, personally. Again, if you could get a player like, well, again, I think we've got the Thiago replacement in Alexis McAllister in that regard. But again, like, I think if Thiago could only stay fit and his hips worked, like, again, he'd be an absolutely phenomenal player for Liverpool. And he is a phenomenal player for Liverpool. I'm not going to say he's not, but it is just that we can't use Thiago week in, week out. Again, this season now, if he does stay for Liverpool, he will very much be used as a luxury item, I feel. But again, it's like, as David Lynch said there, his minutes will get squeezed down, especially with the incomings of Alexis McAllister, Dominik Szoboszlai. If there is another midfielder, if Kefran Turam joins, for example, Curtis Jones, I think we talk about, who could potentially, in terms of the pecking order, Curtis Jones will be in that conversation as well. I think at the start of the season. But yeah, and again, it depends on how Thiago handles pre-season as well. We don't know how he's going to be with his, has he got a new hip, chat? I don't know if he has a new hip, or whether or not if it was just to relieve pain in that regard. Again, I'm not sure what the hip injury was for Thiago, but again, that's the problem. Is we've relied on Thiago too much, where he's broken down, and yet now we're seeing the fact that, again, when he is when he's not playing, we miss him. But then when he is playing, again, he's overworked in some areas as well. So again, there's always, there's pros and cons. I think with the Thiago situation, I think we can all agree with that as well. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts on Thiago and that scenario. Anyway, let me quickly scroll back up. Anyway, but whilst we have no left centre off after VVD, yeah, absolutely. According to Out France's very credible source from France, Kefran Turam is getting closer, as well, says Colin. I hope so. Absolutely hope so. Of course, we will get on news with Kefran Turam as well. There is a little bit of news, obviously linking Lavia with that as well. Bastoni, I'd like at centre back. I remember talking to was it Chris Pajak of Redmen about Bastoni like years ago. I think he was doing a stream once, and I think after the stream we spoke about Bastoni because he was I think on the top Wonder Kids list. And it was like a report come out that Liverpool were interested in certain Wonder Kids in that list. And yeah, again, Inter Milan are in trouble in terms of finance. So if the bid was properly there, sure. I think though Liverpool, again, in terms of centre halves, I think Liverpool are looking for top quality. I also think Liverpool are looking at homegrown. Yeah, I think Liverpool are looking at homegrown at the minute, but again, we'll have to wait and see in that regard. Anyway, but if Salah was sold, we need another winger. Who, not Chiesa? I don't know really. Again, there's not many wingers on the market when you look at it. I probably there is that I haven't seen or heard of anyway, but I don't know. Who could be a Salah replacement? I know that some people are going, well, Szoboszlai could be, fill in for Salah. He could for Afcon after that, and before that, no. Like I want him in my midfield. Two Ram says Daryl. Who do you want as the left-sided centre back? Who do I want personally? Gonzalo Inacio for me is the guy that Liverpool should be going after. Of course, there's been reports in Portugal that Liverpool want him. There's reports that again, there's been so many different reports from again Spain. I think Portugal also saying that Liverpool were interested. I think there was another one that said that he wanted to go to Manchester United in that regard as well. So again, I think it swings around about really what is the truth. But yeah, of course, we'll just have to wait and see. But Gonzalo Inacio would be the one for me, absolutely. But sign both, says Carl. I knew there'd be one person who said sign both. I'd say Lavia, as he has the athleticism to be a bit more than just a CDM, and also Bicetic can play in a different role as well. Yeah, absolutely. It wouldn't surprise me, chat, if Liverpool didn't sign a right back and Bicetic become the backup right back for Liverpool, because of course I think he was a centre half to begin with, and he has played a lot of football at right back as well. So again, there's options there, of course. We could also rely on James Milner. Oh wait, he's gone. So yeah, no, we can't rely on James Milner, unfortunately. Of course, if did anyone see the picture of James Milner today in the gym at Brighton? Like that lactose test at Brighton, they are not ready for James Milner. Anyway, that should be fun to see in the next couple of days. Anyway, but tough one this. Thuram beats him in most online comparisons and looks the better prospect. However, Lavia is Prem ready as well. Yeah, that's the counterpart at the minute, isn't it? Scouts as well, but 10 million max for Thiago as well. What do you mean? Bright 30 mil. Yeah, totally different player, Connor. Yeah. Everyone waiting for the new lineup for the first game of the season, and Henderson still starts meltdown incoming. Lol. Yeah, Barry. It'll be Twitter will go in. The first lineup will be Fabinho, Curtis Jones, and Jordan Henderson. That will be the midfield three for Chelsea away the first game of the season. Absolutely. Saudi won Thiago 25 million. Galatasaray 40 million, says Cal. I know Galatasaray were favourites for quite a while for Thiago. Again, we'd have to see. I think if Saudi Arabia offered 25 million for Thiago, I think Liverpool would bite their hands off for that. Again, that's a profit what Liverpool paid for Thiago. Of course, I know that the Saudi money is, we know what it is, of course, but I think Liverpool would sell if somebody came in and went, right, there's 25 million pounds for Thiago. I think they would sell. Absolutely, I think if Liverpool got 15 million for Thiago, I think they'd sell as well. I don't think they reject that. In my opinion, Thuram next. I think because we've done so much work on getting the deal done, they wouldn't end it or leave rivals to get him as well. Yeah, no, the the only thing that I can say to that is remember Timo Werner. Liverpool did all the scouting work when it comes to Timo Werner before he went to Chelsea, and I mean everything. Klopp had 3 meetings with him. There was something else as well where Liverpool had done it so everyone else knew. I think it was in terms of contract or something like that. And then Chelsea went, okay, we'll pay the release clause. Sound like while Liverpool was waiting for the release clause to expire for Timo Werner, again Chelsea just went, okay, we'll just pay £60 million for Timo Werner, and look at that ended up. To be fair, but Thuram is a ball carrier, want to run at the opposition as well. Yeah, absolutely. Blood Money Connor, in my opinion, I'll say no more political stuff. No, I agree, Bry. Again, obviously we know where it comes from as well. But then again, don't want to paint a paintbrush over everyone in that regard as well, of course. But yeah, I get what you mean in that regard anyway. But hopefully Stevie G buys Liverpool players. We don't want for billions as well. Yeah, absolutely. Klopp said we'd look at all departments except goalkeeper. Didn't do should we expect a defender and a forward signing regardless of any more midfielders. Defense, yes. I think attack, no. I think Klopp said that in terms of, for example, if somebody on Liverpool's attacking list became available, or there was an option to go and get somebody, I think Liverpool would. We saw it with Cody Gakpo. We've seen it with Luis Diaz. When Liverpool want the player and there's a window there to go and get them, we tend to go and get them. I just think that midfield's been the number one priority this summer, and I think defense as well has also been a big talking point. I think this summer. Well, to be fair, I think as you guys have already mentioned, in terms of that left-sided centre half, I think that's also been a big conversation for Liverpool behind the scenes of, if Virgil van Dijk isn't available, do we look for somebody there? And of course, Andy Robertson's position as well, because for me, Robbo, he did okay at the back end of last season when we were playing that position. I think Robbo can do it a bit better than obviously than a Kostas Tsimikas, for example. But again, I just feel like Liverpool, obviously the best target would be Garvidal, because he can play as a left-sided centre half in a back four, and it can obviously play on the left for three as well as a left back. But I think Robbo, I think playing a full season of it, he might struggle a little bit. But I personally think Liverpool will get Inacio this summer, or Colwell if he is available. But in terms of, you're asking me in terms of, will Liverpool sign an attacker? I don't think so personally. But again, Liverpool have done magical things so far this summer. Who knows? But Thuram, Kone, and Virgil with Athletic, Sober and Darwin be nice defending corners as well. Yeah, absolutely. Please, Gerard, buy Gomez for 50 mil. He's worth it, honestly. He's so good at keeping the bench warm. No central heating needed as well. Jesus Christ, Cal. Thiago is an obvious candidate to move on. 200k a week. Yeah, that's also true when it comes to Thiago as well. I want to quickly, obviously, get your comments still in, guys, as well. We'll quickly end the poll with it as well. So again, freaking 85% of people say that they want Kefran Turam instead of Romeo Lavia anyway. But obviously, get your thoughts in on Thiago anyway. But I want to quickly bring up news on Kefran Turam anyway for you guys. Now, there was a rumor earlier on and a report from that Santi saying that Bayern Munich were favourites now to sign Kefran Turam. But Florian Plintenberg has come out and said that Kefran Turam is no transfer target for FC Bayern, no negotiations as things stand at the moment as well. Of course, we also found out from Florian Plintenberg that Ryan Gravenberch is no longer a target for Liverpool this summer, or I don't think at all. Any, of course, saying that Liverpool is definitely out of the race, but talks between the club and the players' management took place. Instead, Romeo Lavia, one of the obviously project for Liverpool. Important to say, Gravenberch is not unsaleable for buying as well. So again, Liverpool are out of the race for Ryan Gravenberch. And of course, Fabrizio Romano also adding, of course, to the Kefran Turam and, of course, the Romeo Lavia situation. Again, saying Liverpool will internally discuss a move for Kefran Turam this week. They're also informed on the conditions of the deal for Romeo Lavia, but it's not time for a bid just yet. Liverpool want one more midfielder this window as well, and also I mentioned in terms of centre half as well. Of course, in terms of already a guy that has been linked for Liverpool, Mickey van der Ven, will join Spurs by the looks of things. Of course, he has agreed a contract until 2028 with Tottenham as well. So again, it looked like he wants very much out of Wolfsburg as a whole. It doesn't matter on who it is. If it's Liverpool, Tottenham, no matter who it is, he wants a Premier League move. And yeah, it looks like he's agreed to join Tottenham as well. It looks like that Tapsoba was too expensive for him as well. It looks like Leverkusen was asking a bit too much money. So they've gone after Mickey van der Ven. I think £30 million is the price that's got spoken about for Mickey van der Ven, which, again, Liverpool haven't jumped the gun yet for him, as far as we know. But as far as we do know, Spurs have, again, opened. I think they've opened talk with Wolfsburg, and they've agreed personal terms with, with Mickey van der Ven. Spurs have anyway. Excuse me. Let me quickly scroll back up. Is there something on Thiago? I don't know how true this is. Apparently, Thiago is currently in advanced negotiations with Al Halil. I think that's how you pronounce it. So we'll have to see. Anyway, we will have to see what's going to happen. But yeah, don't know how true that is, if I'm being perfectly honest, chat. I've just seen it on Twitter. But yeah, I know we mentioned earlier on that Thiago took Liverpool out of his Instagram yesterday or today. Apparently, again, Ricky told me that it's been a while since that's been the case. So if it is, then again, none of us notice. But yeah, it's also interesting. I'm just looking now. Yeah, I don't think that's true. Anyway, but again, if there is anything that's come out, guys, let me know your thoughts anyway. But beautiful football, one of the best, but it hasn't worked as well. Yeah, a beautiful footballer, one of the best, but it hasn't worked. Yeah, I think again, Thiago was meant to change the way Liverpool played, and it was meant to be where Liverpool played against City or played in the Champions League. Like that's what Thiago was brought in for. He was brought in for like the Champions League final, for example, just gone, the one we were in against Madrid. That was a game that Thiago was needed in terms of being that big player in midfield. And of course, he got injured, which didn't help the case. And realistically, should never have been in the conversation to even start that Champions League final, unfortunately. But it is very much that. Again, for me, I think Thiago when he came in, was the best midfielder in the world. I think the only player that could, in that previous season was Kevin De Bruyne. But for me, Thiago was outstanding for Bayern Munich, and won them the Champions League. You look at that Champions League final against PSG, absolutely run the show. I think all of us was like, oh, like Liverpool don't do these types of signings. We don't sign usually the high quality of Thiago to come into the team. But it has changed the way Liverpool play, and it hasn't been for the best in that regard. Anyway, of course, last season, we nearly, or the season before, we nearly went on did quadruple in that regards. And Thiago was a massive factor in that. But for me, I think Liverpool's best midfield is having that technical counter pressing midfield. And with McAllister, Thuram, not Thuram, sorry, McAllister, Dominik Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones in there as well, I think that will massively benefit Liverpool. And yeah, I think that's probably Liverpool's best armour or best, midfield is when they are pressing, when they are that workhorse midfield. Again, I don't think Thiago is that. Thiago's more of a luxury flair player, if you get what I mean. I could be wrong in saying that as well, but that's what I think anyway. If Thiago goes, we get both Thuram and Lavia. I would agree, 1,000%. Apparently, Galatasaray are favourites for Thiago. Hip surgery, got a new one. So there we go. If Thiago stays, I would keep him for European football mostly as well. Yeah, I think if he does stay, he will play mostly Champions League, Europa League, alongside maybe Bajcetic and Curtis Jones. Maybe I think Curtis Jones and Bajcetic play a lot of Europa League football next season. Who's next? Liverpool sound I'm saying as well. Who knows as well. Levi Colwill would be perfect, but they won't sell him to us. Yeah, I think was it 60, 70 million pounds got mentioned by Chelsea, which again ridiculous. Romeo Lavia sounds Liverpool signing him. By the looks of things, he does look to be next. To be fair, hit the likes, please, chat as well. Yeah, if you could. Of course, if we get to 20, that'd be very much appreciated as always. Again, I don't know what we're on at the minute either, so if we could get to 20, of course, that would be very much appreciated. As always, anyway. But let me quickly look what we're on. We're on 20, so there we go. If we can get to 30, guys, it'd be very much appreciated, as always, anyway. I want to quickly get, I'll get into everyone's comments as well. Keep your comments coming in as well, guys. I want to quickly have a look at what Liverpool could look like next season for you guys as well. So this is the team that I think Liverpool might start against Chelsea as things stands at the moment. But again, it'll be interesting, of course, to see what happens in that regard. But for me, I think this is what Liverpool will most likely line up for. Of course, that 3-2-2-3. Of course, with McAllister and Szoboszlai in those areas there. But again, that's what I think Liverpool's best team is looking like at the minute. I know that, again, there's probably a debate in the chat already about Darwin and Cody Gakpo, who starts up front. But I think that, for me, would be Liverpool's team for the start of the season. As things stand, of course, it could change with new signings, of course, but that's, for me, what Liverpool will look like on the opening day of next season as well. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below anyway. But that's what I think Liverpool will look like on the opening day anyway. But must we have Connor? We don't want homegrown Harry Maguire at Liverpool. Jesus Christ, Cal. I never want to fridge him in my defence ever again. Never ever. Matip offered new contract. Does this mean we are happy with our centre backs? Again, I think it might just be protecting his value. Like I said, I think if Liverpool offer him, say, a 2-year contract that activates straight away, so if it's this season and then his last year's next year, I think Liverpool will sell him there and then. There's got to be a price or a a thought about Tiago, not Tiago, sorry, about Joel Matip going and where he goes as well. But for me, I just think that you look at it at the moment. How much could you get for Joel Matip on a 1 year contract? If you have a Joel Matip on a it will still be on a 1 year contract, to be fair. But I think the only way we do it is if it's reduced contract or keeping his value. Anyway, but I hope this isn't one of the window of FSG. We need constant building as well. Maybe, Mark, maybe. I think we get either Turam or Lavia, not both. Not too good to be true in that regard, says North as well. It is a bit too good to be true, but yeah, it will be one or the other. Lavia or Kevin Turam. Most midfielders can back up the defence as well. That is true. Hendo will do a job off the bench long term as well. But to be fair, he moves into that Milner role for me. 100%. Like if Jordan Henderson is thinking that he's going to be starting week in week out, he's he's deluded. I think in that regard. I know he's the club captain. I know he's done wonderful things for Liverpool on and off the field, but for me, he's nowhere near starting now for this Liverpool team. Absolutely not. But if we buy 4 midfielders, do you feel there's a chance we might play a completely different formation? I think we play, Carl, I think we end up playing this formation. Like I said earlier, I think we play 4-2-2-3 like we did last season. I think there's always options, though, as well. If Liverpool want to go back to the 4-3-3, there's always options there, isn't it, for us to do. Won't be long until our friendlies. Yeah, I think Liverpool were back in pre-season on the 8th as well, so not long yet. Yeah, but Klopp loves his versatile players, absolutely. Be expensive to replace a defender as well this window. Well, Inacio has a 35 million euro release clause, I think, or 45 million euro. Excuse me. I think Liverpool are going to be looking at 35, 40 million for a defender this summer. They've got to be, surely. Matip offered new contract. Does this mean good back? Who knows? No more square pegs in round holes. One more question mark as well, says Bry. Okay, I thought we would get 2 more as well. Ends is in as well. Big up Ends. Hopefully doing well, mate. Big up, bro. Also big up chat. Big up the chat as well. Run the likes up as well. Yeah, if you could, very much appreciated. Obviously, do go over to Ends' channel at the minute. Obviously, killing it at the minute. Ends and Savage are at the moment, so of course go over and subscribe over there as well. We will see. Not sure if we can bring any up to support the squads as well, says Mark. Seeing so many sick notes leaving the club gives me real hope, says Oswald as well. Obviously, ends his link but there as well. Thank you, Mark, for that as well. Quick, bloody hell, the chat. I hate when the chat does that. It just goes flying up. What else do we have? Is that Fowler's team? No. I'll try and quickly get up the tweet in a moment. I don't know how true it is. To be fair, it might actually be very true by the looks of things. Anfield Talk's just tweeted. Yeah, I don't. Good thing. Well, a bit of a different Watson for you guys. Gabri Vega's going to PSG for not Manchester City as well, but respect, bro, as well. Oh, Jackson, yeah, as well. So, all right, lads, hopefully do well, Jack. Obviously, I know he was on Liquid Ricky show just now as well, but of course, Liquid Ricky now streaming as well, which is good. Obviously, Jack's linked there. Thank you, Mark. Hey, Jack. I've just seen him just go for an hour. Jesus Christ, I didn't realize it was that bloody goddamn long that we've done that long we did a stream for. What formation will Liverpool set up next year? 3-2-2-3 is what I think Liverpool will go for, or 3-4-3 or 3-2-5. Either way. Depends on who else comes in as well. Southampton have tweeted a picture of on Twitter of Lavia. What, just a picture or a statement? Let me have a look. Southampton. Yeah, they have to drip it probably 5 hours ago in the gym. Fair enough. I thought there was maybe something else. Has it been mentioned about the Thiago removed? Yeah, I did mention it. Again, Ricky said to me that it's been a while since Thiago's not had it in there. Just thought it was news because everyone was banging on about it this morning. And when I looked, it was like, yeah, oh, Thiago's is not there, but again, who knows? Best to sell a player under contract as well. Yeah, absolutely. Gakpo slots into Milner's role. Jesus Christ. No, no. Jordan Henderson's role that is anyway. But I think Liverpool have investment getting coming. Yeah, they do. I think it's a company. Of course, I'll obviously there'll be a normal news episode tomorrow, guys. Anyway, but there is a investment group. I think FSG have put a. Is it 600 million for 10%? I said, or 15% is 600 million. Which of course, if it's 600 million for 10%, of course, means the club value themselves around 6 billion, which is mad. We should think about it. But again, I think Liverpool are waiting to see first if what Manchester United sell for, because like I said earlier on, FSG they want somewhere. They want somewhere near Manchester United's valuation for that as well. Possibly, obviously, Liberty Media, of course, who own Formula One as well. I don't think they'll be coming in. Personally, I think it might be the Singapore the investment that's coming in, but again, I don't know. Of course, if there is any news, I'll bring it to you guys straight away anyway. But I'm going to leave it there for tonight anyway, guys. Big thank you to all of you guys for tuning in as well. Of course, we've discussed the squads. We've discussed, of course, potential new signings for Liverpool. We've discussed who could be next as well. Obviously, I think all of us are still on a hype at the minute, of course, with Liverpool obviously signing these two so far in terms of Dominik Szoboszlai and of course Alexis McAllister. And yeah, by the looks of things, it does look like Liverpool are pushing very hard at the moment for Romeo Lavia, of course, or Romeo Lavia. At the present moment in time, of course, obviously Kefran Turam is still there at the present moment in time of being linked. So again, we will just have to wait and see what on earth Liverpool do this summer anyway, of course. But again, I do think Liverpool will be very quick in the next week or two, maybe. That Liverpool might do something, even by the weekend, like a couple of you guys mentioned. It could be before the weekend. Liverpool do something in the window anyway. But if you're new around here, guys, do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. Of course, if we have reached 30 likes, of course, big thank you to all of you guys. But yeah, like I said, normal news episode tomorrow anyway, of course, unless there is any more breaking news in that regard. And of course, if there is anything that does come out, we'll let you guys know when we can do anyway, of course. But again, make sure you join the Discord as well to keep up with the news, and of course on the channel, and of course make sure you check out the community tab as well anyway. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it from us. I've been Connor from the Club Council. See you all later on. Ta-ra.